Jamaica may be heading toward a population crisis, and most people aren't even paying attention. At the University of the West Indies, Prime Minister Andrew Holness made a stunning disclosure. Since 2018, Jamaica's birth rate has fallen by 24%. That's not a fluctuation. That's a structural shift. Jamaica is now below the 2.1 replacement rate required to maintain a stable population. If this trend continues, the country won't just grow slowly, it could begin shrinking. And here's the part that raises eyebrows. The Prime Minister says Jamaica needs a net return of talent. He is encouraging Jamaicans overseas to come back home. So we need to ask, is this a bold economic strategy? Or is this a quiet admission that Jamaica's demographic model is breaking down? Listen to what he said.
It may shock you to learn that since 2018, our birth rate has fallen by 24%. You need to be growing by at least 2.1% to be at replacement. I'm speaking to the most productively fertile generation. And by the response, I know it is a topic that is of serious interest, but bear with me. So we're down 24%. Surprisingly, but counterintuitively, there is a view that, that means, your education budget should be reduced. You don't have to worry about, funding all kinds of social services. But it means less people to support the pension system, which one day you will need a pension system to support you. It means less people available for the labor force. How are we going to grow? If you layer inefficient bureaucracy on a tightening labor pool, what is going to happen is that wages are going to go way up and productivity is going to go way down. It's a serious social issue that we face. So I am very happy when I hear Jamaicans who have migrated saying, you know what, I want to come back home. We need to stimulate a net return, a net gain of talent back into Jamaica. Look, I know some of the things that I'm saying challenge your outlook and how you see things. But we can't continue to see things the same way we have seen them for the last 50 years. They have not served us well. We need to have a different thinking. So we have to encourage Jamaicans overseas to come back here and help us to build here. One of the challenges, of course, they talk about the hospitals, the roads, but they do also talk about the frustrating bureaucracy. The good news is we are working to change the bureaucracy. Today is a critical step in that we are going to support you in a mindset shift, in a thinking that we must pursue efficiency in the same way as we pursue security or fiscal stability. We must pursue efficiency. Efficiency is a key driver for growth. And efficiency, it is more than technology. It is more than infrastructure. Efficiency is also culture. And for culture to change, you need a mind shift, a mindset shift. And hopefully today will be the start of a shift in mindset for the generation that is coming to take Jamaica to its destiny of a country that is prosperous, the place of choice to live, work, raise families, do business, and retire in paradise. Thank you.
Now, let's deal with facts. Jamaica's fertility rate is estimated to be around 1.8 births per woman, below replacement level. That means every generation is smaller than the one before it. Compare that to the United States, roughly 1.6 to 1.7. Barbados, around 1.6. Trinidad and Tobago, about 1.7. Japan, about 1.3. The difference is this. Japan is rich. The U.S. has massive immigration inflows. Europe offsets decline with migration. Jamaica? Jamaica loses people. For decades, thousands of skilled Jamaicans have migrated annually to the United States, Canada, and the UK. So, unlike large economies that compensate for low birth rates through immigration, Jamaica experiences the opposite: outward migration. That is a double hit. Fewer births, plus brain drain. Now think about what that means. Fewer workers entering the labor force. Fewer contributors to NIS. More elderly dependents over time. Greater fiscal pressure. The Prime Minister is absolutely correct that this becomes a pension problem. A shrinking workforce cannot sustainably support an expanding retired population. But here's where the debate begins. Encouraging the diaspora to return sounds good. It sounds patriotic. It sounds visionary. But why did they leave in the first place? Cost of living, crime concerns, limited career mobility, bureaucratic delays, wage gaps. Unless those root issues change, why would large numbers return permanently? And then there's the cultural shift he referenced. Young Jamaicans are delaying children for rational reasons. Housing prices are rising. Construction costs are high. Many professionals prioritize migration or career establishment before family. Globally, fertility falls as education rises and urbanization increases. That trend is not uniquely Jamaican. So the uncomfortable question becomes, is the government prepared to fundamentally reform economic opportunity, public sector efficiency, and family support policies? Because birth rates do not rise from speeches. They rise from stable incomes, affordable housing, childcare support, strong healthcare systems, optimism about the future. And here's another layer. If global immigration policies tighten, particularly in the US, Jamaica may see involuntary return migration. But that's not the same as strategic return. And absorbing returnees requires economic readiness. So this moment feels like a turning point. For decades, Jamaica's challenge was brain drain. Now it may be demographic contraction. And demographic decline is slower than crime, quieter than debt, but far more permanent. The Prime Minister has sounded the alarm. The real question is, will Jamaica implement the structural reforms necessary to reverse the trend? Or are we witnessing the early stages of a long-term population squeeze that reshapes the country for generations? That's not fear-mongering. That's math.